Okay, so maybe you were reading about the latest in tire tech or saw that article about all the supply chain issues, and now you're wondering just how are those round rubber marvels actually made?
It's fascinating, really. Tires, we all rely on them,
For sure.
but very few people stop to consider how complex they are and all the innovation behind their production.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what we're doing today, diving deep into this world of tire manufacturing and how it's way more high-tech than you might think.
Oh, absolutely.
So we've got a case study from this company, Bullows, and they've developed this new tire mold coating machine. It's really changing things up.
Interesting.
And get this, the coating process is completely automated. No humans involved.
Wow.
Yeah, like something straight out of a sci-fi factory.
It sounds like this case study could give us a glimpse into this trend of automation we're seeing everywhere, especially in manufacturing.
Yeah, for sure.
And that brings up some really interesting questions, like how is this impacting efficiency, costs, and even just the future of work?
Definitely. So let's start by thinking about the old way of doing things.
Okay.
This case study talks about all the issues with manually coating tire molds.
Right.
So imagine a worker trying to evenly coat the inside of this massive mold with a heavy spray gun.
Oh, I see.
And they have to contort themselves just to reach every little nook and cranny. It just sounds like a recipe for inconsistency and fatigue and even safety hazards.
Yeah, you're right. The case study specifically talks about operators needing to take these extended rest periods.
Right.
Because it's just so physically straining. And then there's the exposure to all the chemicals in these open environments. It highlights how inefficient and risky these traditional methods are.
Exactly. And they even talk about the weight of the spray guns,
Oh, wow.
with the extension nozzles leading to muscle fatigue and inaccurate application. So not exactly precision engineering.
Not at all.
So that's where Bullows' automated solution comes in. Imagine a robotic arm with all these spray guns moving precisely around this 360-degree rotating tire mold. Yeah, like a choreographed dance of technology that guarantees consistent 100% coverage, which was almost impossible to achieve manually.
That's incredible. And it's not just about efficiency, right?
Right.
The machine, the case study says, it has this dry spray booth with an exhaust system, so it captures all the overspray, making it way safer for workers and the environment.
Absolutely. This is a huge improvement over traditional methods where they released harmful chemicals into the air.
Right. That's a threat to people's health and the surrounding environment. This new system, though, minimizes those risks while making working conditions so much better.
Talk about a win-win.
Yeah, absolutely.
Plus, the machine's adjustable, which means it can handle all different tire sizes, from compact cars to massive trucks. This thing can handle it all.
That adaptability is so important for these manufacturers because it streamlines production and they can respond quickly to changes in market demand.
For sure.
This kind of flexibility just wasn't possible with the old methods.
Yeah, it's incredible. So we have this machine that can coat tire molds like a robotic Michelangelo.
It's amazing.
But how does this translate into benefits for the tires themselves and for us as drivers?
That's where things get really interesting. The consistency and accuracy of the coating has a direct impact on tire performance and how long they last.
Okay.
It's not just about making them look good. It's about the science of how those materials interact at a really tiny level.
So how does a perfect coating lead to a better tire?
Well, think of it this way. The coating is like a bonding agent between the different layers of a tire.
Right.
A more precise coating means a stronger bond.
Makes sense.
And a stronger bond means more durability. It's like building a building. The stronger the foundation, the more resilient the structure.
So does that mean my tires will last longer?
It's certainly a possibility.
Okay.
A stronger bond means the tires will be more resistant to wear and tear. Plus, a smoother, more uniform surface can improve rolling resistance, which could lead to better fuel efficiency.
So not only are these robots making tires more durable, but they might be helping us save money on gas.
Potentially, yes.
That's amazing. But what about the cost of manufacturing? Does this technology make tires cheaper to make, or does it end up costing more?
That's a tough question. It's complicated.
Okay.
While automation can save money on labor over time, the initial investment in something like this Bullows machine can be pretty substantial. So manufacturers have to weigh the pros and cons.
So they have to consider the upfront costs versus the potential long-term gains.
Exactly. And it's not as easy as just throwing a robot on the assembly line and calling it a day.
Right. There are other factors they have to consider, like maintenance costs and potential downtime for repairs.
Absolutely. And the need for skilled technicians to operate and maintain the equipment.
So it's a fascinating glimpse into the world of tire manufacturing.
Definitely.
We've seen how this new technology is addressing the limitations of the old methods. But it makes you wonder about the economics of automation and the future of the industry as a whole.
And this is really just the beginning.
Right.
This Bullows machine is a perfect example of how automation is transforming manufacturing, and its impact goes way beyond just making tires.
Okay, so we've kind of laid the groundwork.
Yes.
We understand the problem, the solution, some of the benefits.
Right.
But now I think we should dive a little deeper. What are some of the bigger implications of this technology?
Yes,
And what does it mean for the future of tire manufacturing and even for workers?
That's a great question, because this is where things get really, really interesting. This case study opens up so many questions about the changing relationship between humans and machines, and the possibilities for new tire designs and materials, and even the ethical considerations that come with all this rapid technological advancement.
Let's crack open that box and see what's inside. Our listeners are ready to take this deep dive to the next level.
This level of precision we're talking about in tire mold coating, it could pave the way for entirely new tire designs and materials.
Now you're talking.
Yeah.
I love thinking about the possibilities. Paint me a picture. What kind of futuristic tires could we create with this tech?
Well, imagine tires that can actually repair themselves. Like if you get a small puncture.
Whoa, self-healing tires.
Yeah.
That sounds like something out of a superhero movie.
It's not as crazy as it sounds.
Okay.
Researchers are already working on materials that can do this.
Really?
Yeah, they can repair small cuts or punctures completely on their own.
Wow.
The challenge right now is figuring out how to integrate those materials into the manufacturing process in a way that makes sense cost-wise.
Right.
And that's where automation, like this Bullows machine we're talking about, could be really important.
So these robots aren't just making better tires, they're opening up the door to this whole new generation of smart, adaptable tires.
Exactly.
But with all this automation, is there a risk that we'll see human workers become obsolete in the tire industry?
That's a question that a lot of people are thinking about, not just in tire manufacturing, but across all sorts of industries that are becoming more automated.
Yeah, it's a valid concern.
Absolutely. While automation can lead to new jobs in things like software development, maintenance, and data analysis,
Right.
it also has the potential to displace workers who are doing those repetitive manual tasks.
So it's not a simple robots replacing humans scenario.
Not at all. It's about recognizing that automation is going to reshape the workforce,
For sure.
and we need to be ready for those changes.
Okay.
By investing in education, retraining programs, and policies that'll support those workers during this transition.
So we need to be as innovative in supporting our workforce as we are with these new technologies.
Exactly.
We can't just focus on all the advancements and forget about the people being impacted.
I completely agree. The goal is to use automation to benefit everybody, to create new opportunities, and to make sure that nobody is left behind in the process.
Well said. So we've talked about how this tech could revolutionize tire design and some of the challenges it brings up for workers.
Right.
But let's zoom out even further. Are there things our listeners should be thinking about that maybe we haven't explicitly stated yet?
That's a really good question. I think one thing that often gets overlooked in discussions about automation is our reliance on these systems.
Okay.
And the potential vulnerabilities that come with that.
You mean like what happens if there's a power outage?
Exactly. What happens if there's a power outage or a software glitch and the whole production line shuts down?
That's a good point. We're getting so dependent on these complex systems. And when they fail, the consequences can be huge.
Right. It's like when your internet goes out and you suddenly feel completely helpless.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And in a crucial industry like tire manufacturing, any disruption in the supply chain can have these ripple effects across the whole economy.
Absolutely.
So it's like, yeah, we embrace the efficiency and the precision of automation,
Yep.
but we also need to think about backup plans and redundancy to mitigate those risks,
Having a plan B is a good idea.
just in case the robots decide to take a day off.
Yeah.
But what about the environmental impact of all this tech?
Yeah.
Is it a step in the right direction for sustainability or not?
That's another important thing to consider.
Okay.
While the Bullows machine does address some of the environmental concerns by cutting down on harmful emissions during the coating process,
Yeah.
there are other factors to think about too.
Yeah.
For example, these machines still need energy to run. So where's that energy coming from?
Right.
And what's the overall carbon footprint?
So it's not just about getting rid of those immediate environmental hazards of the old ways of doing things. It's about making sure that the entire production process is sustainable.
Absolutely.
And then what about when these machines are no longer useful?
Right. What happens to them at the end of their life cycle?
How do we get rid of them responsibly so we're not creating a ton of electronic waste.
It's like that saying, reduce, reuse, recycle, applies to this high-tech manufacturing equipment, too.
Absolutely.
Sustainability has to be front and center
Right.
as we embrace these advancements.
This is getting pretty deep,
Yeah.
but I love it. It's so important to really think about these things and not just automatically think that new technology is good.
Right.
We have to consider the potential downsides
Absolutely.
and work towards solutions.
I agree.
This deep dive has been really eye-opening. We've learned about all the potential benefits of automation in tire manufacturing.
Yeah,
But we've also uncovered some of the complexities and challenges that come with it.
for sure.
It's given me a whole new appreciation for how technology, society, and the environment are all connected.
This is really just one example of how automation is changing the manufacturing landscape.
Right.
And it's a trend that's only going to accelerate in the years to come.
So what's the takeaway here? We shouldn't be scared of progress, but we need to be aware and ask the right questions and demand responsible innovation.
Well said. Like we've seen today, something as simple as a tire can give us insight into how technology, society, and the environment all interact with one another.
Yeah, it reminds us that we all have a part to play in shaping the future, not just as consumers, but as informed citizens who demand transparency from these companies and industries that are pushing these advancements.
Absolutely. And that leads us to a really important point. As consumers, we have the power to influence innovation by making informed choices
Okay.
and supporting companies that align with our values.
So we vote with our wallets. If we demand sustainable practices and responsible automation, companies are going to have to listen.
Exactly. This deep dive has given us a lot to think about.
It has.
But I think it's really a call to action.
A call to be informed, engaged, and proactive in creating the future that we want. We've gone pretty deep into this world of tire manufacturing, all the innovations, the potential benefits, and all the complicated questions that come with it. It's been pretty wild.
It has been fascinating.
But before we wrap up, what would you say is the most important takeaway for our listeners?
I think if there's one thing I hope people remember, it's that innovation is great, it's exciting, but it's not a solution to everything. We have to be critical, look at the big picture, and consider the impacts on the economy, the environment, and society as a whole.
Really well said. We can't just blindly accept every new technology. Now, for those listeners who are totally hooked on this whole world of tire tech and want to learn even more, where should they go?
Well, for a really fascinating look at the history of tires and how they've evolved, I would recommend this book. It's called The Wheel: Inventions and Reinventions by David Rooney. It's a great read, takes you on a journey through time, and shows how this invention, the wheel and the tires, have really shaped civilization.
Sounds like a great book. We'll make sure to include that in the show notes. And as always, if you're enjoying these deep dives, tell your friends. Share the knowledge. Spread the word.
Sharing knowledge is so important.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining me on this journey into the world of tire manufacturing. It's amazing how something we usually take for granted can be so complex and innovative.
It's been my pleasure. And hey, maybe the next time you're driving, you'll look at your tires a little differently, appreciate all that engineering and ingenuity that went into making them.
I know I will.
Yeah.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.